Welcome, one and everyone, to this week's episode of Scotch and Smoke Rings, episode 272, I believe. I am your neighborhood friendly Oxhorn, here as always, with my suspenders set to maximum stun. If you can look closely, you're going to see a lot of flashing lights behind me, and that's because my beautiful wife is playing Destiny. She has become a huge fan of Destiny, and is probably one of the best Destiny players I know. She was recently accepted into an all-female gaming clan for Destiny, and she's having a lot of fun with that. So she and the kiddos are killing people with guns in a fake video game science fiction world, and I am sitting before you in my own fake world, getting ready to smoke cigars and drink some scotch. HT Star says, is it in her destiny to play Destiny? Ha 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 ha. Woo! Yes. Today we have a great show for you. Lots of stuff to get through today. But of course, first things first, we have to pour the scotch. I have been sipping on this wonderful little vial of maple-flavored Canadian whiskey. That was a wonderful gift. But since it is Scotch and Smoke Rings, we will revert back to our scotch. Today we're drinking some Scoresby blended Scotch whiskey. And I recall that last week we had some new viewers from Twitch who commented on sipping from a shot glass. But that's what we do here at Scotch and Smoke Rings. We sip from the scotch glass. Or the shot glass. Alright, let's tell the world that we're live. Streaming live, episode 272 of Scotch and Smoke Rings. I waxed my mustache just for you. Did I spell it all right? ScotchandSmokerings.com. I sure hope so. There we go. Now the world knows. Primetime Draven says, hi, Oxhorn. Big fan. Pleasure to see you here, Primetime Draven, as always. Lawman Z is in the chat. Good to see you, Lawman Z. We have Gentleman Badger, Bulldogs, Madman Max, Elizabeth, Andy the DK, Imagine Justin, Jonath, HT Star, Greg McLovin, Hardtongue. The entire crew is here today. Good to see you all. Cheers, ladies and gentlemen. Bottoms up. Chin chin. Dragon XL is trying to confuse me. It's not episode 298. It's episode 272. I'm pretty sure. Ultra17 is in the chat and says, hello, Brandon. Pleasure to see you, Ultra17. Ghoulbreath is here. Good to see you, Ghoulbreath. And Dragon XL. And Shiut. Poor Shiut is having a rough day. Shiut says, I'm so ticked off. My PvP team for dumb legendary questline just messed it up. And it angers me. Because we were winning. And they crowded around one cart. WTF. Which of course means what? The flack. I had a gift through the mail, ladies and gentlemen. And here it is. This is, of course, from Cigar Ox, whom I hope is in the chat today. Cigar Ox has proven to be the greatest beneficiary of cigars to this fine program in sheer numbers. Now, I have smoked a few of these because I picked them up a few days ago. But I took special care to save the Rocky Patel for this show. Now, if you recall, this was he sent me a Rocky Patel a while ago, and I saved the Rocky Patel for the show then, too. And it was smooth and amazing and rich and lush and wonderful, and this is it. This is the same cigar. So I'm going to be smoking a Rocky Patel today. Oh, it's a different Rocky Patel. It's Rocky Patel, but it's a different type. It's the Wall Street type. Apparently, this is what people in Wall Street smoke. So by lighting this up, I will become a millionaire, or maybe an expert on hedge funds. Either way, that's good. Cigar Ox is in the chat. Good to see you here, my friend, and thank you. Patron of the arts. That's what you are. You should write off all these cigars as a tax deduction when you next file taxes, because you're a patron of the arts. You're donating to artistic charity, because that's what I do here on Scotch and Smoke Rings. I create art. This beard is art, right? Why not?
Music of the 1920s and 1930s deserves to have an appreciative modern audience.
What? Gentleman Badger says, I'm amazed by the class of this individual, but I'm also intrigued by the concept of an Oxhorn comprised entirely of cigars. If anyone wants to make a statue made out of cigars, send me a photograph. Now, tell you what, if someone makes a statue, like a life-size statue, out of cigars and gets it on display in a museum or outside a market or something, I will fly down there and autograph it, and you can take a photo of me in front of it or something. Because I completely expect that to happen. That's right. My megalomania is so high that I know someone's going to go out there and just make a statue of me out of cigars. Because of course that's going to happen. Cigar Ox says, I hate doing the 1040 form. You and me both, buddy. You and me both. Will Nova be joining us in the chat today? Asks Dragon Exile. No, she is preoccupied by destroying 15-year-old boys in Destiny. She takes great glee in it. She hops on. My wife, here's something you need to know about my wife. In her heart of hearts, beside that sweet, beautiful nougaty center, she's a troll. And she really loves trolling angry 15-year-old boys. Because she hops on with her female tune, who's wearing hot pink, of course, and she kills them, and then the boys get upset because they think that no girl should be able to defeat them in a video game. And so then they get onto their microphones and they say unclassy things, and they rage, and they throw a little tantrum, and my wife just thinks it's hilarious. And so she specifically targets them again. There was this one time where she just killed the same guy over and over again. She had a sniper rifle, and she was just over and over again for like 15 minutes straight. And he would just scream into the microphone, and she giggled. That's my wife, and I love her to death. Cottiz Winery says, have you ever lost anything in your beard? Besides my soul, no, I have not. General Blackbane asks an interesting question, and he says, what thrives you, or what makes you want to continue the show? Is it the audience? Is it the gifts? It's both. Like, I have not had to buy myself cigars in months now. And I'm pretty thrilled about that. This is a beautiful gift. It's saving me a lot of money, and yeah, I can still enjoy my hobby. But, of course, it's also, you find ladies and gentlemen. This is one of my few opportunities to engage with the fans. I retired from my movie making, and as much as I loved making movies, I'm not making them anymore, and so I don't have new ways to communicate aside from this show. So I'm continuing to do this show as a way to continue to have a rapport with the fans. Randoran says, oh no, Gamergate rears its ugly head even on this classy show. No, we're not talking about Gamergate here on Scotch and Smoke Rings. I am not going to go off on a rant. I am not going to go on a tirade. Because you know what? I'm just not that interested in it. I'm just not, right? This is not interesting to me. You know what's interesting to me? Setting this on fire. Dragon XL says, unless Oxhorn gets 500 grand, he won't make movies again. Sir, you underestimate me. It wasn't 500 grand. It was $1 million. I need it. Anyone got $1 million check, I will gladly quit my jobs and make movies again. With pleasure. So anyone got $1 million to bankroll Oxhorn brand movies? No? No patron of the arts. That's okay. I still accept cigars. William Moore's in the chat today and says, hail, hail, good Sir Oxhorn. How is your classy adventure? Or how goes your classy adventure? My classy adventure goes very well. Been having a great week. We're going to play some Hearthstone here in a little bit. I've got some fan art to get through and some fan videos to get through. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, Black Schwarmer says 5 million, wasn't it? That's right, that's right. It was 5 million. Here I am underselling myself again. No, 5 million, that's what I need. Just write the check, care of Oxhorn, or cash, and send it to my P.O. box. That works. That's right, I was telling you about my new adventure. So I'm working with a local video game company here in Seattle. It's a company that's produced a number of very popular Steam indie games in the past, and I'm doing some marketing for them. So look forward to some new news about a pretty interesting game coming up in the near future. I'm hoping to be able to give away some free alpha and beta keys to you guys if you're interested. So stay tuned. Lots of good stuff to come. Andy the DK says, Ox, I can't remember the last time you smoked out of your pipe, which leads me to the next question. What is your favorite pipe? You're right, I can't remember the last time I smoked out of my pipe either. Smoking out of pipes, it takes a lot of talent. It really does. It's so much easier to just pick up a cigar and set it on fire than to pack a pipe and, tap it down correctly and then, keep it maintained as you smoke it. It's a little trickier. But I do have a pipe that I enjoy. It's a Meerschaum Bowl tobacco pipe. Gift from my grandfather. It was very nice. Dragon XL says, Oxhorn underestimating himself? That's insane! Just as insane as Oxhorn writing a book, indeed! The Tale of Cloran Hastings is a great name for a book, and if I were to write a book, it would be called The Tale of Cloran Hastings, available for the low, low price of money at cloranhastings.com. Excellent reviews on Amazon.com. Excellent reviews on iTunes. Available in paperback, hardcover, or as a handy ebook, penned by myself, a swashbuckling fantasy sea nautical yarn with magic and monsters and dragons in the water and stuff. So you'll enjoy it. cloranhastings.com. Black Shawarma says marketing and voice acting, perhaps? I don't think they're going to have me do any voice acting, as much as I would like to, but I may do some live streaming of their game, in which case you could play the game with me on the internet. It's about as much as my voice they're going to be able to use. Zarnraz says, could you show us the pipe you made? You must be a long-time viewer of this program to remember that I actually did make my own tobacco pipe. I don't even have it in this room. I think it's in my curio cabinet in the living room. But years ago, I hand-carved a tobacco pipe, and it ended up being this giant green monstrosity. Yeah, because when I decided to stain it, I didn't think, oh, let me stain it a natural color so that the wood grains come forward and look beautiful. I thought, no, I'm going to stain it green, because I like green. And so I stained it green. I tried to make it a shell, but then again, I don't really know of any shells that are green, so it's a green tobacco pipe. If you think that's appetizing, I promise there's no algae in it. It's just green. Anyway, I'd show it to you, but it's in the other room. Imagine, Justin says, may we see a smoke trick Oxhorn. Smoke in the Scotch glass, 2 smoke rings together. The Scotch glass is getting a little low. Let's try that. It's totally not working. Here, I've got another glass. Let's try that one. Stays in there pretty well. There we are. Now to blow it out. Whew. Alright, Madman Max says, Oxhorn, I'm getting some lag. May it be time to whip the elves to run faster, to speed up your internet. Yeah. I'm not downloading anything, but my wife is playing video games. So I don't know if that's slowing it down or not. I'm sorry ahead of time if it's bad. Hopefully it's not for everybody. Are some of you at least getting a good stream? Let me try some smoke rings. Trevor Green says, how about a cigar flip with your thumb? Black Shawarma says, do you really want to see him ablaze? And then Trevor says, maybe. Wow, that's great. I'm glad that your idea of entertainment is me on fire. That's my idea of entertainment too. But I can't do flips. That's one thing. I went to school in the 80s and 90s, and all of my fellow co-students, classmates, there you go. That's the word. All my fellow classmates would be able to do these neat tricks with pens and their fingers. But look at my fingers. They are short and stubby. I can't do pen tricks. Like, I think I could do this. Like, but that's not very impressive. I'm just twiddling. They would be able to go like in their middle fingers and the blah blah. It's just all crazy stuff, and I can't do that. So sadly, I can't do any tricks like that. But I can blow smoke rings, so I'll try that. Madman Max says, hey Oxhorn, I have a great idea for your famous smoke ship at the end of the night. Excellent. Hold on to that thought. I hope you can stay for the whole show. We've got a great show. Black Shawarma says, co-students? And I'm the old one? The word escaped me. Classmates, obviously. There's even a website, classmates.com. I'm sitting like, what's the word? Co-students. I know what it was. I've had co-workers for a long time. And that's where my mind was at, so I was thinking, all right, we're going to school. It's kind of like work. They're Zarnaraz says, Oxhorn, I am in a state of crisis. I can't grow a beard. What do I do? You go to growabeardnow.com. It's a website I own where I do a lot of writing about beards, and I share with everyone, including you, the best products in the world for growing a thick, beautiful, and resplendent beard. For example, in this beard I have 2 different types of wax in tonight. I have regular gritty beard wax, which is giving my wax a nice shape. Look, it doesn't move. That's because, well, it's moving a little. Just a little bit, but it's mainly stationary. And then I have some nice beard wax in my stash, mainly to get it out of my lips. Because when it's in my lips, I can't blow smoke rings. Anyway, growabeardnow.com will service all of your bearding needs. If only you could blow smoke rings out of your Scotch glass, says Trevor Green. I've tried blowing smoke rings out of my penny whistle before and other metal tubes, and it just does not work the same. I don't know why. Min and Belisha says, what are the chances you'll ever make a movie again, man? I will likely refuse beardage if you don't make one. What is a man without a beard? I've already said I need $5 million in cash. I will accept bitcoins. You know, stacks of the cash. And then I can fund my art, right? I'm like Wagner. Wagner was penniless and homeless for years until he found a patron of the arts in the King of Bavaria, who built him his own theater and funded his master opus, because he had many master pusses, and that would be opa, plural, Latin. So, I'm like, Wagner, I need to find my king of Bavaria. If there are any of you who own castles in Bavaria, let me know. I will gladly take your money so that you can get more Oxhorn movies. Ghoulbreath says, without you, Oxhorn, I would not be a World of Warcraft beta tester, so your gaming news excites me. Maybe a competition for keys? Yes, we're going to be giving away alpha and beta keys to fans who show up during the stream. So a lot of marketing strategy is involved here. We're trying to come up with an editorial calendar and a sprint timeline so that we can start releasing some videos and some screenshots. It's going to be a fun game. I've already played it. I think you guys will like it. It's available on Steam. Well, it will be available on Steam. I can't give you any more details than that, but in the coming weeks, stay tuned, and we'll be able to give you some beta keys so that you guys can play. Black Shawarma says, those who are rich want more rich people, but they want you to make it on your own. Yeah, no, I can respect that, actually. I have a healthy respect for that, so I guess I'll stop begging. Oxhorn has put away his cardboard sign. He is no longer on the side of the road begging for your millions. He will instead write about beards, and hopefully someday that will make him a millionaire. It's a sound strategy. Cheers, ladies and gentlemen, to millions from beards. Imagine Justin says, wait a minute, Oxhorn, we haven't seen the evil side of you for quite some time with the curled mustache. Where is he? Well, I have a hard time curling my mustache. It takes a lot of energy and effort, and so instead I just brush it to the side. I'll put wax in it and then just use a brush and brush it to the side instead of curling it. And I've also found that the curls don't stay. Like, I'll get these really nice curls, I'll have a great handlebar mustache, and then halfway during the show it'll melt because it's so hot in this room. So it's just complicated, which is good because that means the evil side of Oxhorn doesn't come forth very often. Wonderful. Chief Smash says, ever thought of forming a not-so-secret secret society or fraternal order of the beard? Perhaps a schnazzy logo and signature bow and or a handshake? It's actually a great idea, and I've done that kind of stuff in the past. So, for those who don't know, Rings a Riot, says Mario TV. Alright, hold on. I'll tell that anecdote in a minute. But this is Scotch and Smoke Rings. It would not be honest of me to host this program without Scotch and Smoke Rings. So here's to the Scotch and the Smoke Rings. Well, anyway, as I was saying, before we get to the Hearthstone, ladies and gentlemen, calm down, we will have the game. But before we get to the Hearthstone, to answer your question, when I was a kid in school, I organized all of the other boys in my class to join my club. That's right. Now, I'm not going to use the word gang, because I didn't know what a gang was at the time. I was never a gang leader. I can't believe I'm having this conversation. No, I was never a gang leader, and I don't have any tats to show you. But when I was a kid in elementary school, I was a club leader. I formed a club, and we all had a uniform, and we would wear black shirts to school every Thursday, and we had like a charter of members, and we would go out into the playground, and we would do feats of strength and might to like earn awards and so forth to ascend the levels of this organization that I had created. And this was when I was like 11 and 12. So I had no idea what any of this fraternal organization stuff was. Just in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I need to be in charge of my own club. I need to run things and own the lives of people. That was me as a 12-year-old person. So, but anyway, yeah, so this could translate very well into an Oxhorn Fraternal organization. Although I do think that this one would be much classier. We would have a full complement of mustache waxes and beard waxes. If I owned a hall in downtown Seattle where I could invite members to, we would have an open bar throughout the entire time, a wood-burning fireplace in the corner, and smoking chairs for gentlemen to wax philosophical about the news of the day. It would be completely benign, but a wonderful place for gentlemen of refined me to wax philosophical. Zarnra says, a gang of gentlemen? Yes. That's exactly what it was. It was a gang of gentlemen. Really good stuff says, confirmed gang. Here it is now. Oxhorn, the gang leader. That's what all the fan art is going to be about. Oh, fan art. That's right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you guys have been contributing your fan art to the program. It is abominable of me to not show it off. So let me get it together here and I'll show off your fan art. For those who don't know, we have a Facebook group. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/groups/Oxhorn. It's open to anyone. You can join. Those who submit fan art do so on that page. There we go. So here's this one submitted by Nathan Giles, and it's a shirt that says, all men are created equal. Then some of us learn to drink Scotch. I do have to admit that's a good shirt. I would wear that shirt. Although it does go both ways. So if you're saying that men who drink Scotch are somehow unequal compared to those who don't, does that mean that they're unequal because they're better or worse? I don't know. We'll leave that up to interpretation. Then there's this from Dylan Rizian, and he's basically just sharing us this screen cap from his favorite show, The Beardsmith. And I have to admit, it takes guts to wear an epic beard while playing with molten metal, because all it takes is one stray spark and you're in a world of pain. Then there's this from Damon LaRue, and he says, considering our good host's choice of beverage last night, I went and found something truly magical, bacon-infused whiskey. The guy put bacon in his whiskey. That's brilliant. Why have I never done that? All right, that's my next step to do. This one is from Nolan Sarkis, a.k.a. Shoot, and he says, so for Greg McLovin's tribute video, here's the updated look of Oxhorn's teacher/mentor. This is the Archdruid Hammond Ridden Totem. And I'm not sure, is this the guy that replaced Karen Bloodhoof? I'm not sure, but apparently this is the new skin for the guy. So nicely done there. Here's one from Erica, and it's a pecan pie cake. Staghorn would be flipping his classy stuff right now if he saw this, because he has always been a fan of pecan pie. But this is a pecan pie cake. It's a pie transformed into a cake. I don't necessarily think that makes it worse. Anyway, I think that's pretty delicious idea. So thank you for that one. And the next up, we have your messages. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, we will go through your audio messages if you leave them at scotchandsmokerings.com. There's a little floating button on the website that says leave a message, and I'll go through them during the show. So here we go. First up on the show today is Ghoulbreath. Ghoulbreath, what is on your mind?
Hello, Oxhorn. This is Ghoulbreath, a.k.a. John Bagley. Now, you once told us that you were once a Boy Scout, and you are still, along with your brother Bean, Eagle Scouts. I was wondering if you two would remember your Eagle Scout projects, and if, he's probably not here today, but maybe you could remember his. I'm trying to get ideas for mine. I have a general idea, but I just don't know what to do. Any suggestions? Stay classy.
Absolutely. So Ghoulbreath says, I remember you saying that you and your brother were Boy Scouts and that you earned the rank of Eagle. What were your Eagle projects? So for those who don't know, if you join the Boy Scouts and you want to become an Eagle Scout, which is like the top rank in scouting, you have to do this big project at the end of your tenure, which is supposed to give back to the community and so forth. And so my brother and I did this. My big project was I painted the studio shop for a hospital that built equipment for handicapped children. So, like, if you were missing a limb as a child or something, you would go to this shop, and they would hand make you a nice little device. It's basically turning children into cyborgs. And that's what I supported as a youth, and I enjoyed it. It was great stuff. And then my brother, he painted the children's daycare room in one of our local churches for his Eagle project. So there are a lot of great ideas. Some of the other guys in our troop, they built a stairway. One guy built this stairway out of wooden slats down a steep embankment to a creek to allow this park to have access to the creek. And then another guy created a bench. I'm not sure why that was amazing, but he made a bench. That's pretty good. All right, next up is Andy the DK. Andy the DK, you were on the program. What is on your mind, sir? Share your wisdom.
Greetings, Oxhorn. Andy the DK here. How are you doing tonight, fine sir? I hope you are doing well. Tonight, Ox, I have a debate for you.
Okay.
I won't get into it too much, but here it is. What do you think about the whole Ebola subject and this terrible disease that's obviously spreading like the medieval plague?
Yeah.
But the thing that really just is funny to me is that Americans, 300,000 Americans die of obesity per year. Tobacco kills 450,000 Americans per year, and 88,000 Americans die per year due to alcohol. So I think that we're killing ourselves faster than this Ebola can kill us. But I want to know your opinion, fine sir. Thanks as always, and stay classy.
Well, great question. Look, it's hard to watch the news without seeing something about the horrible Ebola epidemic that is going on right now, and it truly is scary. Now, it's an interesting juxtaposition that you presented, because yes, there are many people who die of obesity and many people who die of tobacco every year, but one of the interesting things about the Ebola thing is not how many people it has killed to date, but the potential that the disease has to kill people in the future. And of course, people are thinking back to the Black Plague and how it completely devastated medieval Europe. It just completely devastated medieval Europe. Generations of humanity wiped off the face of the earth. Now, here's where I think things are blown a little bit out of proportion. I remember reading that Ebola is less contagious than the Black Death was. Ebola, on average, if you're the average person who contracts Ebola, you'll infect up to 2 other people. With the Black Death, I believe it was up to 12. The average person infected with the Black Plague infected up to 12 other people. And the reason for that is because I think it was airborne. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, but I think the Black Death was airborne, whereas Ebola is not. In order to catch Ebola, you do have to touch some sort of bodily fluid that comes from an Ebola-infected human being. And that's harder to do. Now, the only other thing about this is that it is possible that Ebola could mutate and become airborne. That's something we all have to look forward to in the next couple of weeks. So, anyway, this show is not about thinking about the horrors of the world. It is about escaping from those horrors and just for 1 hour being a little bit classier. So we're going to move on from that topic, but thank you, Andy the DK. Next up is Magin Justin. Magin Justin, you are on Scotch and Smoke Rings. How can I help you today? Okay.
Hello, Oxhorn. How's it going? Staying classy? Sorry I missed your show. Last week I was over at the Floresville Peanut Festival. But my question is to you. What type of cigar that you had but hated it?
What type of cigar have I had and hated? Lots and lots. There are a number of cigars out there that I've tried and did not like. Let's see. Probably the most recent one is it's a no-name cigar, so I can't give you the name of it. But I did a piece about it. John Geston says Ebola as of today is airborne. Great. That's good news. I hope you're wrong. But everybody's talking about Ebola now. There. That's what you get, my friend. Bring up Ebola, everyone's going to talk about Ebola. But anyway, I had a series of cigars from an unlabeled group. It was basically you buy a pack of cigars that don't have a label on them as a discount price, and you have a chance of getting a really nice cigar out of it. But what typically happens is they remove the labels on some of the cigars that they don't ever sell, and then they say, yeah, you have a chance of getting a really expensive cigar, but they just never put an expensive cigar in that bundle, and then they just sell you all the cigars they couldn't sell previously. And that's what I purchased, and I ended up getting 3 different cigars that had cigar beetle marks in them, at least evidence of cigar beetles. So those are probably the worst that I've ever had. Not the best. Madman Max says, Ox, the Black Death was transmitted by the fleas of the rats that came to feast on the waste of we humans. That's right, I do remember reading that. Thank you for that correction. It wasn't airborne. I sure hope Ebola does not go airborne. That would be bad. Black Shroma says, there's something simpler than that. Most of us are immune to the really nasty version of the Black Death that wiped all the people out, because the only survivors that reproduced were the ones who had an immunity to it. The same thing will happen with Ebola. That's somewhat comforting in terms of thinking about the survival of the human species, but not so comforting thinking about the survival of us. Because we kind of want to live too. That's fairly important. Jonas says, Ox, you talk about anything or go into any topic giving info, and it starts catching like wildfire. Yeah, everybody does their research. It's easy when you have you only have to click one tab over and you can do your Google research. Greg McLovin Hartung. I called you McHartung. Sorry about that. He says, Oxhorn, I'm sure you've been over this before, but is there a chance you would make some of us loyal fans co-hosts via Skype? We could do a test call and check the stability and agree to your terms. That's an interesting idea. I'd love to have some of you guys on as co-hosts every now and then. I'd have to sit down and think about the infrastructure and how that would work, but it's something I am definitely not opposed to. Alright, Dragon XL says the voicemail was sent classy as usual. I'll save that one for next week because I already closed the window that had the voicemails open. But I'll be sure to check it out next week. Sensona84 says, Oxhorn got a subscribe button? Indeed, I finally did get a subscribe button. So for those who are on Twitch, you can click the little subscribe button, give me $5, and that goes towards my 5 million needed to make movies again. Chip away, chip away. Drop in the bucket. But every drop is necessary. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, you came to watch Hearthstone, and I will not disappoint. Let's get this going. Now, the thing is, playing with fans can sometimes be tricky, especially when I get so many people trying to challenge me to battles. So we'll see how this goes. If, for some reason, I can't play with the fans, I'll just play solo. Not that I want to, but as a matter of necessity. Jonath says, I would love to co-host. I'm sure you would. I think it would be a lot of fun. Yeah, I think it would be fun to have the fans on sometime to do a co-host. There we go. And Hearthstone is live. Let's go ahead and try this. First to challenge me gets in the game. As long as Hearthstone doesn't crap out on me. My goodness. Madman Max says, Ox, I'm upset. I can't grow a beard because I'm a chef and I'm not allowed to grow one. So I shed one manly tear each time I go to work. Well, that's a tragedy. I'm sorry to hear that. But you know, as I've always said here on the show, it's more important to be employed than to have a beard. It's good to be able to provide for your family. So even though it would be nice to have a vocation that allowed beards, tragically not all do. Alright, who am I fighting today? Greg Hartung! Mr. King Crush himself. Alright, good sir. Let's do this. Shoki81 says, would you be doing more of this, Oxhorn? Yeah, I do this program every week. Every Thursday night at 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific time is the regularly scheduled show. However, I also have special streams every now and then, too. Okay, let's see. Alright, your turn. Trevor Green says, Ox, your status shows that you are busy, so I could not challenge you. Sorry about that. Let me change that. My status is now set to online. Sorry about that. I just changed it. Dragon XL says, hey Oxhorn, can you tell me why my cherry pipe tobacco won't stay lit? Yeah, probably because it's too moist. If pipe tobacco will not stay lit, that means that it's a little too moist. And that can happen because you stored it in a moist or humid environment. Or sometimes brand new pipe tobaccos, especially flavored pipe tobaccos, will taste pretty bitter because it's hard to keep them lit. So that just could be the nature of the pipe tobacco that you've got.
Those vitamins and minerals are carefully preserved by Horlick's method of vacuum processing the rich, full cream milk.
All right, McLevin Hartung, do your worst.
But beware of cheap imitations of Horlick. The original always worry my name.
Time for some scotch. Cheers, ladies and gentlemen. Bottoms up. Sword of Justice. There, did you like how I did that? That's right, that's how I roll here at ScotchandSmokingRings.com. Madman Max asks, Madman Axe asks, Oxhorn, by chance, have you had any Glen Splay 1985 13-year-old Cadden heads yet? I find it to be one of the better scotches I've had this far, and the 55-year-old whiskey is in a safe place for a child's wedding. Great, I'm glad you're saving it for your young one. I don't believe I've had that one before, but it sounds amazing and delicious. I sincerely hope that you enjoy it. How was that, Mr. Hartung? I'm feeling pretty happy about that one. Wow, Zarnraz says, do you still give away free Bibles? I still have the one you gave me. I'm just curious. Wow, you really do go back. That's something that I did back in 2007, 2008. So yeah, a long time ago. No, I don't give free Bibles away anymore just because I was getting so many requests that I couldn't financially do it anymore. It was getting too expensive. Because the Bibles I gave were pretty nice ones. I didn't give away the cheapy Gideon Bibles. I sent out pretty nice ones. But I'm glad that you got one. So kudos to you, my friend. Alright, Greg, you have 7 life left. These next few moves will be very important.
Reporting for duty. Not on my shield for Argus.
Your shield for blah blah blah.
Your magic shall not save.
I'm feeling pretty good about this, but you know what? Anything could happen at this point. He could still defeat me, so I need to be careful. Can't get too cocky. No. Alright, so a review of the Rocky Patel so far. This is a doggone delicious. Uh-oh. Oh, no! Greg, and you had to let me know that that was coming. Alright, Divine Shield, Taunt, Death Rattle, equip a 5/3 Ashbringer. Oh my goodness! If only I had saved! Oh. Alright, McLovin. Let's see how you can do after that. Thanks, Varler. I actually hadn't even thought of that.
Let me think.
Equality. Bubkus.
Reporting for duty.
Oh. Are you guys getting some lag? Seriously? Lawman Z says, Oxhorn, it looks smoky in that room. Yeah, it is pretty smoky. It doesn't help that I blow my smoke directly at the camera either. So there is that. All right, Greg. It's now or never. This is your move. Jazz hands. Make it count, Greg. The clock is ticking. Tick tock, tick tock. This is the move of the century. Your reputation will be holden upon this move. What? What's this? Ouch. No! One! I just had one! No! Oh. Greg Hartung. Patience. Patience. Too easy? Way to put some salt in the wound, my friend. Too easy. Come on, gloat a little harder, why don't you? Oh. That's it, Greg. You're on my naughty list. Little do you know that I play Santa during the holidays. Dragon XL says, the last time you bragged, Oxhorn, you got your tush handed to you. That's true. I'm starting to sense something here. When Oxhorn brags, he loses. So maybe I should just put a bunch of false humility forward. Here we go. Let me try right now. Oh, I am just so bad at Hearthstone. My opponent is so talented. I am humbled to fight against you. I know that your skills are so far above mine, and I take it as an honor that you would deign to battle me on the battlefield. This is my pleasure. How was that? Was that good? All right. Who am I fighting? Ghoul Breath. Ghoul Breath, my friend. All right, what's the move? What can I do? Not a whole lot. Jungston says, I cannot believe I randomly ran into this stream as I recognized the name. Your videos gave such entertainment to my youthful gaming addiction. Thank you for all you do. Well, Jungston, that is very sweet. Thank you so much for posting. I hope that my movies will stay on YouTube forever and that people will be able to enjoy them for years to come. Trevor Green says, Ox just got kicked in the Gulliver. Indeed, I did. Rage King 194 says, Oxhorn. Holy classy word here. It's you. I haven't seen you in 4 years. Holy carp. Yes, it has been a long time. I'm still around and kicking, still doing my thing. And I do this show every week, by the way. So every Thursday at 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific time, just head on over to scotchandsmokerings.com or check me out on Twitch, and I do this show. Yeah, I just reached my 5-year anniversary of this program not too long ago. Rage King says, do you still work for that phone gaming company? No, not at all. I left that company And then I worked for... What's going on here? Ghoul breath. Ouch. Then I worked for a hospitality software company for 4 years. And now I'm working for myself, which is pretty nice. Okay, what just happened? Oh my goodness. What did you do? Varler asks, what are the approved swear words? Bloit, blit, chack, grat, and Walsh. Ouch. Pain.
Shall not fall. Shields up.
This is what happens when I get distracted talking to you guys. I lose games. That's right. I blame all my losses on you. Rage King says, I'm in a bit of a shock right now. I remember watching you every week when I was in junior high. I'm in college now. You know, just think of it from my perspective. You know, I'm 33, and so for me, my movies were not all that long ago. It doesn't feel that way. And yet many of the fans that I talk to say that they first started watching my movies in elementary and junior high school. So I feel really old. But it's in a good way. I feel old in a good way. How about that? Battle Cry, deal 5 damage to your enemy hero. Gosh, this is rough. Four, 3, okay. This is a tricky bit of business. Varler says, Ox, you're not accumulating age as you grow older. You're accumulating class. Thank you, my friend. That's the way I like to look at it, too. Chief Smash says, you people all make me feel old. That's okay, my friend. We don't have to disclose ages here at ScotchandSmokeRings.com. What was that? What did you just do? He just wiped the board. Shoot says I should have brawled. No, I had way too many units on the board at that time. And I couldn't afford to brawl earlier, so... Your minions trigger their death rattles twice? What is this? What is going on? Oh, well, he dismissed it. Alright. Congratulations. It was a good fight. Well played, my friend, but I am victorious. You see how that worked? I was, quote-unquote, humble at the beginning of the match, and I won. So there you go. There's some logic behind that. I'm just going to have to be humble for the remainder of this battle. Here we go. Here's the Hearthstone glitch. Ghoulbright says, this is why I play Hunter, because that happened. Sure, sure. When you lose to Oxhorn, it's because you're not playing your desired class, huh?
You asked for it.
Black Shorman says, Nova Ox, it's been a pleasure, but I must go to work in the AM. More messes to clean up. Good sir, thank you so much for coming and moderating the forum. Always a pleasure. And we will see you next week. Varler says, I got into the game and then it quit on me. Hearthstone makes me cry. Me too. I have shed many a tear over this game. I get into these battles with the fans and then Hearthstone crashes on me, so... Andy is Diablo! Good to see you, my friend. I hope you have a good battle. Oh, my beautiful wife, Crimson Contessa, is in the chat. She changed her name from Nova to Crimson Contessa. I like it. I think it's a nice change. Rage King 149 says, what do you think of the new WoW expansion, Oxhorn? Well, I haven't played the beta, but I'm pretty impressed with what I've seen so far. I mean, it's no secret that I was less enthused about Cataclysm, but I played it, and I wasn't at all enthused about Mists of Pandaria. So I made the Panda Exterminator, and then did not play it. But this one looks pretty interesting, so I really hope that it works out. Greg Hartung says, oh man, what I'd give to do a one-on-one Hearthstone while on Skype. You'd all hear my maniacal laughter. Instead, they just get to enjoy my maniacal laughter. Chief Smash says, Oxhorn Pandaria was a lot better than it looked. I too was skeptical, but I really enjoyed it. Much better than Cataclysm. I'll take your word for it. The whole panda thing was but yeah, I'll take your word for it. Alright, what's this? Spell damage +1, battle cry, draw a card. Alright, let's try that on for size.
The great music of the 1920s and 1930s deserves...
Zanraz says, does Oxhorn play Destiny? Because I'd really love to do a strike or something sometime. I don't play Destiny, but my wife plays Destiny, and I watch her play Destiny all the time. She's on the Twitch chat right now as Crimson Contessa, and she tears it up. By the way, honey, I was just telling them all about how you really enjoy destroying the trolls in Destiny who try and say smack. Is that what they do? Talk smack. Who tried to talk smack to you? Okay, what's going on here? Okay, that works. All right. Cat21299 says, "You look like a true gentleman." Well, thank you. I waxed my beard and mustache just for all of you. All right, Andy, it's Diablo. No! No! Oh! Really? That's a pretty good special, my friend.
Ready for this? Job's
done. Chris Back says, "Are you Amish?" No, I am not Amish. You can tell an Amish person from a non-Amish person because the Amish do not have mustaches. I have a great guide to this on growabeardnow.com where I write. If you go to the blog section and scroll down until you see my article on the Amish beards, the Amish shave their mustaches because the imperialists who subjugated them in their old home country all had mustaches. And also, the military has a long tradition of having mustaches, and they don't like the military. They don't want to be militaristic, so they shave their mustaches. Madman Max says, "What time does Scotch and Smoke Rings end? Because I have to send a strongly worded letter to Amazon later." Well, I normally end the show at 8 o'clock Pacific time, which I think is 9 o'clock your time. But I haven't ended it at that time in a very long while. I tend to go over, and that's what I'm doing now. So I don't know when I'm going to end the program. Uh-oh. Andy is Diablo. Oh my gosh, you and all your cards. What? Oh! Oh no! ZebraZuber123 says, "How are you doing this lovely evening, Oxhorn?" I am doing very well. Enjoying a classy scotch, enjoying a classy cigar. Cheers and bottoms up. Oh my goodness.
Remember, kill for us.
I'm done.
Remember, kill for us.
Boom, and I'm dead. Alright, one more game, ladies and gentlemen. One more game, and then we shall end the program with a classy smoke ship.
Versus Valir.
Varler! Alright, Varler. I'll try not to destroy you too badly. Oh wait, I need to be humble. Okay, I'll... I tip my cap to your obvious superb skills, and I hope that my own meekness in this game will not offend you or your sensibilities. Andy the DK says, greetings, or good game, Oxhorn. I think I'm on a 6-game winning streak. Great! So the last 6 times that we've met on the battlefield, you've won. Alright. Varler says, good luck, high five. High five! What to do? What to do? Good cigar. This cigar has lasted the entire program. It was a normal sized cigar, and it's not a tough one to smoke, so it's a smooth smoke. And yet it's lasted a good hour and 14 minutes now. Can't complain. Are all my guys dead? You killed all my guys. Pugnacious of you. Andy the DK says, when I beat you with legendary decks, it doesn't count, which is good for you. Great, well at least I've got that going for me. Ooh! That one almost enveloped the camera. I'm still working on my smoke ring within a smoke ring. Let's see if I can do it. Nah. Tricky. Tearing up all my guys. Ooh, almost got one there. Ooh, almost got one there too. Bottoms up, ladies and gentlemen. Andy the DK graciously says, Oxhorn, my friend, you are a legend amongst the Warcraft community. I tip my hat to you, my friend. A hat tip right back at you, good classy sir. It was a pleasure meeting you on the battlefield. Alright, what can I do here? Gosh, this guy is just... Varler, you're making me anxious. I kind of got one there. I blew a smoke ring and then destroyed a smoke ring. Ooh! Did you see that? Close. Ouch. Bingo!
I will be your death.
What? What's with all these combos? Oh no! Crossing my fingers here. No! Alright, I need an insta-kill button. Come on, insta-kill button. Ah! Bubkus! Alright, alright. I think that means you won. Well played, good sir. Well played. Seabell829 says, inhale that cigar, you pansy. My friend, it's okay to exhibit your own ignorance on Scotch and smoke rings. I will not hold it against you. But the proper and appropriate way to smoke a cigar is to not inhale. In fact, those who do inhale are abusing the cigar system. Instead, we respect our cigars like the pieces of art they are. They are not things we inhale to get some sort of rush or high and then dispose of like a mere cigarette. Instead, we enjoy the artistry, we savor the flavor in our mouths, and then we expel the smoke with relish. That, my friends, is how a classy gentleman or lady enjoys a good cigar. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for your smoke ship ideas. Once a week here on ScotchandSmokerings.com, I take all of the talent that you see before yourselves today, and I create a smoke ship out of your ship suggestions. So what would you like to see today, ladies and gentlemen? Is it a galleon? Is it a submarine? Is it a spaceship or even a zeppelin? Let me know, and I will do my very best. The Gentleman Badger says, a final battle is between Oxhorn and the kingship of all of Azeroth. The elves of Quel'Thalas cast their petty spells, and fire cannons shooting Brussels sprouts. A mighty weapon is brought on the field to bring victory in the name of class. The mighty Bacon Star, capable of removing the hippies from to all elves. I like that. Greg Hartung says, an ambulance-shaped airship soaring to the safety of Thunderbluff, with Greg McLovin Hartung piloting, and out of the kindness of his heart takes Oxhorn to the healers as a result of his Hearthstone defeat. Oh my goodness. Ouch. Painful. Lemon juice on a wound. Wrapped in bacon bandages to stop the bleeding. Okay. Chief Smash says Oxhorn sails his mighty galleon, the USS Classy, crewed by the Fraternal Order of Dashing Beardsmen, into port on a mercy mission for the good of all men as he seeks to convert them entirely. I like that. Mad Max says, for the smoke ship, I was thinking Oxhorn fighting an army of elves that are trying to steal all of the Red Snapper and Tall Strider Bacon while in a bowler hat and a suit as Staghorn eats the world's largest pecan pie. Pecan pie sounds delicious right now. William Moore says Oxhorn, Staghorn, and Mortus piloting a giant cigar submarine in the Great Sea of Scotch, battling giant killer whales and man-eating sharks while an army of Vikings sneak past the battle and capture all of the red snapper lobsters from the ocean so they can have an epic seafood feast. Sounds delicious, except I personally am not a fan of seafood. Let's see. All great ideas, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm going to go with Madman Max. Madman Max, you had a very nice smoke ship, and I know that you've been sitting on it all day. One more submission from Dragon XL. Roast pig with a side of fresh mashed potatoes, stuffing, and a fine glass of Mountain Dew, and lemon meringue pie as dessert. Oh, that is an epic feast right there. You're making me hungry. All right, pay attention, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Whoa! I hope you didn't blink, because if you did, you missed it. But for the briefest of moments before your very eyes was Oxhorn fighting an army of elves that are trying to steal all of the red snapper and tall strider bacon while in a bowler hat and a suit as Staghorn eats the world's largest pecan pie and Mortus and Lacey punt gnomes off of the bow of the ship with dead cowbies. Dead cowbies are always a wonderful addition to a smoke ship, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Dragon XL says that's what he's eating now? A breakfast or a dinner of champions, my friend. Imagine Justin says, YouTube award Oxhorn points the camera to the right behind you on the right-hand side of the door. I saw it. Oh, this thing. All right. There, how's that? No? Better? Okay, all right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to this week's episode of Scotch and Smoke Rings. Episode 272. That's right, we've been doing this for 272 weeks, over 5 years. Thank you all for coming to this week's episode. Be sure to tune in next week, same Ox time, same Ox channel, here at scotchandsmokerings.com. And be sure, my friends, as always, that you stay classy.